How you doing? And welcome to Neither Real Music. I'm Ed. Today we're looking at our fourth installment of All of Me by Seymour Simmons and Gerald Marks. We've been working on hybrid picking the chord sequences. But before we get into that, please remember to subscribe, check the little bell so that you know when your next lesson is coming up. For those of you who've been following along, we've already done measures 1 through 12. After we do the next 4 measures, we will be at the halfway point of the song. So let me give you an example of what we're going to be working on, and then I will show you how to work your way through it and play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, this section has a lot of movement. If you follow along with some of the things I've said in the previous videos, you should start with only learning the bass line before adding in the chord implications. So let's take a look at that first. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still using my first finger for most of what I'm doing because I like to bar certain sections. If that doesn't work for you and you have a different fingering, go for it. Now let's take a look at the addition of the chord implications. 1, 2, 3, 4. In this section, I like to bar the D, the C, and the E. You can also use 3 fingers for this section, and it won't really affect much of how you're playing it, especially if you're using your first finger for most of the chord changes. For the G7, I am using 2 different fingers to go through this sequence. So now let's take a look at it one last time all together with tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. For those of you that are astute enough to notice the modifications that I make to some of these chords, good for you. For those of you who aren't, let me explain a few things. The chords that we are implying in this section are D7, D minor 7, and G7. However, when I do the implication, I'm playing the letters D, C, and E. The E technically doesn't belong in the chords D7 or D minor 7. I would have to make them 9 chords for them to fill in. So the implication comes from the fact that I hit the F sharp immediately after the first sequence. So when I go, that F sharp insinuates a D7 chord. For those of you who noticed, I played the exact same sequence 2 times, except instead of playing the F sharp, I played an F. So the difference between a D7 chord and a D minor 7 chord is this F sharp versus F. When you play them together, they end up being a D9 chord and a D minor 9 chord. this little chord insinuation using a D, a C, and an E is actually also changing the chord to a 9, providing us with just a little bit of flavor over the chord changes. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you are enjoying these lessons, like the song, please subscribe, as I said earlier, and ring the little bell. I'm trying to grow this channel so every subscription counts. Good luck and good practice.